Welcome to my weekly updates. I'm Jason Halstead, and it's Saturday, April 27th, 2024. First off, let me address the issue that I'm learning how to do these video updates is an area full of growth opportunities for me. See, that's what us writers call a synonym. It's a phrase that means the same thing as I'm terrible at these, and hopefully I have nowhere to go but better. So first, let's talk about my rather cluttered and dark office. The curtains on that side of me. My office faces the morning sun, so I get a lot of light in here that reflects off my monitors and makes it hard to see. So the sun blocking or light blocking curtains are a must for me. And let's see, the next big item to probably discuss is the cage down there. It is a dog cage, and when we have to leave for more than a short period of time, yes, we have to put our dog in the cage because she still thinks she's a puppy and likes to eat everything. And full disclosure, I actually also will do fit in the cage. I may have answered a dare from my children at one point to prove that, but things you got to do as a parent. Okay, so that's enough about my man cave of an office. Let's get on to writing and YouTube updates. So first off, I wrapped up the rough draft of a short story that revisits my Voidhawk characters. Voidhawk was, I think, the first book I ever published, and it is a space opera, space fantasy kind of series. It made 10, I had 10 books in the series, all novels or longer, some big ones there. And it was, I don't know what to say, you'd have to read it. It was very different and very cool. I enjoyed it very much, but after 10 books, I could only do so much to the characters, and there was nowhere else I felt comfortable going, and they deserved a break. So I put that behind me and moved on, but I did come up with an idea for some of their offspring of the main characters, and that is what the short story is about. It just touches on their lives as they're coming into adulthood and inheriting some of their parents' legacy. Let's see. Next up, I also that'll be my Patreon account on May 1st, and then I'm also working or completed and waiting on editing for Leverage Part 2, which is going to launch in May for Patreon also. Leverage is science fiction, not it's the years around 2080, so kind of near future, and it's cyberpunk with some fantasy involved in it, and it's Leverage does take place in the same world as Chipped and Bounce, but it's totally different characters. And then next up, I am hoping to work on another episode in my modern fantasy series, Kalinar. Kalinar by modern fantasy, I mean they use magic instead of technology to live lives kind of similar to us, except more interesting and entertaining because it's fiction, and we want the good guys to win. Let's see. So examples of the magic instead of technology: streaming entertainment. They use magical systems that have been put together. Banking and financial systems. Yes, those exist, and yes, they use magic to synchronize everything and make sure there's checks and balances in place for their markets. Running water, light and power, transportation, all of that is magic powered. Okay, now for YouTube updates. I uploaded Terminus this week, which is an introduction to the Terminus series, which I think is 4 or 5 books strong at this point. The intro is more of a novelette, but it's on YouTube now. Go check it out. It was a lot of fun. They're all a lot of fun, otherwise I wouldn't write them. With Terminus, it is very much futuristic science fiction, spanning several systems or solar systems. It's got aliens and bad guys, lots of bad guys. It's got some anti-heroes as the main characters even. And when I was creating it, I was trying to channel a little bit of Star Wars into it, looking for a little bit more space opera than hard science fiction. It's even got an alternative for the Force, but my version is called, I'm not sure what it's called, or if it's called anything, but the people that use it are considered the Gifted, and they are feared, which seemed pretty alternative considering the powers they're using and the rather draconian or dystopian empire they work for. And then after Terminus, I actually have a couple other audiobooks I'm dying to upload. The Shard of Destiny is a fantasy one that is in stages of being edited and getting ready to pop. Should be up next week, I hope. I would like to get it sooner, but if not, then next week. After that, I have another futuristic science fiction one called When Fortune Strikes. It is the opening story in a space pirate series, and the series name is called Vengeance in the Void. Unfortunately, I was doing the voice generation for that last night, and I ran out of generation hours for the month in the app I use. So that may not get pushed out until mid-May instead of early May, because I have to wait for that to refresh. However, I am looking into alternatives to see if I can use another app. It's just a matter of what can I afford to do. So I will do what I can and try to get as much out there as possible, because this stuff thrills me. I'm really enjoying it. Outside of those two, I don't know what else I have coming along. I do have a lot of other options, though. A lot of short stories or longer in the Chipped and Bounce, or in the same setting that Chipped and Bounce are in, but with different characters. I also have a lot more stories after the first one that Coop, which is the main star of The Shroud of Destiny. And maybe I'll take that Voidhawk short story and put that up here too, just as a little intro to that setting, although they're using magic and wooden ships to sail through space, and in that story they're not really doing any of that, but they are meeting an old dear friend of the series. And then I'd also like to say that I'd happily take requests for anything that you may have read that you'd like to hear on here. Tell me what you'd like, or if you're not sure, head over to my Patreon and check that site out. The link will be below. And I would love to do it. I'm really enjoying this, and I think it's really cool, and I want to see it take off, and I want everybody to have a good time with it, and it not to cost you anything. So I think that's great. You can help me get there by subscribing to the channel, sharing with your friends and coworkers and family, and 1, 2, 50, however many you can find. I'll take it. Yeah, watch the videos, enjoy them, like them, and don't be afraid to leave me feedback. So until I get the next stuff up, thank you for watching and enjoying, and I hope I've been entertaining.